Alrighty. This is gonna be the last one. And I am really, really sick, so mind my voice, or if I cough, it's like take 100. But already, so today we're gonna look at two readings, and basically everything from this whole timer. But even both these stories, they are gonna ask the same question in a different way, which is how do we use images and now digital platforms to see each other, to speak, and to care. And together, these readings, they paint a picture of what activism looks like in a world where visibility itself has become currency. So let's start with Zhang and Abidin. Their study looks at the viral hashtag OKBoomer, a short, sarcastic phrase that became a kind of generational anthem for Gen Z. On the surface, it's a joke, a pun, or a punchline, but beneath the humor, the authors argue, lies something much deeper, a new form of digital activism. They call it memification, the process of turning complex ideas into shareable, repeatable, and often funny content. Through memes, Gen Z found a way to express political frustration without the heavy language of protest or policy. The hashtag OKBoomer wasn't just an insult to older generations, it was a form of collective identity. In one clip, a teenager lip syncs to a rap that goes, "Back in my day, we walked uphill both ways. Okay, boomer, time to meet the Zoomers." It's playful, but it's also political. A generation saying, "We didn't create this mess, but we're living in it." The study shows that most of these memes touched on three big topics: lifestyle and well being, gender and sexuality, and conservative politics, especially climate change. One creator joked that boomers complain about the holes in our genes, while Gen Z replies, "Yeah, and you've made holes in the ozone layer." That blend of wit and critique, irony and sincerity, is what makes TikTok a new kind of public sphere. It's not just where people laugh, it's where they process frustration. And that's what Zhang and Abidin call everyday politics. Not the politics of elections or parties, but the politics of expression, of turning anger and anxiety into something relatable, remixable, and viral. The authors describe this as lip sync activism. On TikTok, the act of syncing your mouth to someone else's sound clip becomes a kind of solidarity, a shared performance of the same feeling. Everyone adds their own spin, their own story, but the collective sound remains the same. It's activism by repetition. Each video says, "I feel this too," and in doing so, transforms a single phrase into a chorus. What's striking here is how Gen Z merges humor and heartbreak. Memes about mental health, climate despair, or homophobia are often disguised as jokes, but those jokes carry pain. They turn trauma into connection. And in a feed where attention is fleeting, humor becomes a survival strategy. But there's also a risk. The same algorithms that reward witty, emotional, visual content also flatten it. The more viral a message becomes, the easier it is for it to lose its original depth. Which brings us to the second reading, where performance and morality collide on another platform, Instagram. Well, Orlando Woods and Suying Shi ask a provocative question in their article. When people volunteer or do charity work abroad and then post about it online, who is it really for? The research looks at young Singaporeans participating in overseas volunteer trips, building homes, teaching English, helping in rural communities. But the author found that for many, these humanitarian acts were shaped as much by the camera as by compassion. In a digital age, helping others can easily become doing it for the gram. That phrase, "for the gram," captures an entire mindset, the need to perform goodness, to be seen being good. The authors describe this as the representational politics of popular humanitarianism. It's not just what people do, but how they frame it, how they curate their images, filter their emotions, and stage their encounters with difference. A volunteer might spend more time posing with children than actually teaching them. They might edit their photos to make poverty look picturesque, dusty roads, happy smiles, perfect lighting. When those images go online, they generate likes, comments, and validation, a digital feedback loop that reinforces the self as moral, caring, and cultured. The paper calls this an effective economy of difference. In simple terms, it's how people turn other people's suffering into emotional content. Content that makes viewers feel sympathy and the poster look virtuous. Woods and Shee are careful not to condemn every post or volunteer. They acknowledge that digital photography can democratize empathy, letting more people witness and care about global issues. But they also highlight a paradox. The closer the camera gets, the farther real understanding can drift. When humanitarianism becomes part of our online performance, it risks becoming another form of self branding, a spectacle of compassion. As the authors put it, volunteer tourism can transform doing good into aesthetic consumption, turning inequality into an experience and difference into a backdrop for self expression. And yet, even in that critique, there's a glimpse of hope. The paper suggests that if we can become more self aware, if we can look critically at how we represent others online, then digital media could still be a space for genuine connection. It depends, as always, on our intention. Are we posting to be seen or to help others be seen? When we put these two readings side by side, they tell one continuous story about the digital age. Zhang and Abidin show us how Gen Z uses humor and memes to turn frustration into community. The power of going viral as resistance. Woods and Shee show us how that same power can blur into performance. The price of going viral as spectacle. In both cases, visibility is the goal and also the trap. We're constantly negotiating between authenticity and attention, between empathy and ego. And the question that lingers is this: can digital culture truly make us more compassionate, or does it just make us seem better at appearing compassionate? Well, maybe it's both. Memes, selfies, hashtags, they're all part of the same struggle to be heard in a noisy world. Sometimes they build community, sometimes they just build clout, but either way, they reveal something profoundly human: our desire to connect, to matter, to turn feeling into form. And yeah, that's about it. Um, Appreciate it. That's number 12. Cue the outro.